Pain doesn't begin when someone leaves. It begins when they're still there, but no longer yours. I once believed I was one of the lucky few. A stable career with a dream salary, a father I admired, a gentle mother, and above all, a woman who made me believe that true love wasn't just a myth. We were set to marry, everything was ready. The church, the guests, the music, the vows, perfection. Even my father, the man I looked up to most, was there, blessing our union. But a single text message, a brief flash on a phone screen, was all it took to shatter my trust, my world, and everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and family. And then came the question no one ever wants to face: do I walk away in silence or confront the lie at the altar? My name is Jonathan, 32, project manager at a leading tech firm in downtown Chicago. I spent years building my career not for the title or applause, but for the woman I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, Megan. We met at a summer barbecue, and within 3 months, I knew she was it. Smart, elegant, kind, the kind of woman who could light up a room and quiet my storms. The first person I introduced her to was my father, Robert, a man of integrity, respected in business, and my lifelong role model. He welcomed Megan as if she were the daughter he never had. My mother loved her too. We had dinners, holidays, and dreams mapped out like a storybook. I proposed, she said yes. The wedding was meticulously planned: 150 guests, hand-picked wines, jazz band, personalized favors. Every detail was mine. My father helped me with it all: guest lists, seating charts, speeches. He stood by me as both mentor and best friend. And yet all along, he was hiding the deepest betrayal I'd ever know. Betrayal doesn't begin with a single act. It starts with glances, excuses, and ends in silence. The night before the wedding, I stayed with my father at the Palmer House Hotel. We shared dinner, joked about speeches, double-checked the schedule. A peaceful, bonding night between father and son. Then his phone buzzed, nothing unusual. He often received work messages at odd hours. The screen lit up, he had left it face up. The name, Megan, I wasn't trying to look, but the message was right there. And it read, "Thank you for last night. The way you touched me still lingers. I can't wait for the next time." Our little secret: there was a photo. Clear, undeniable, Megan and my father in bed, time-stamped just the night before. In a blink, I was no longer a groom. I was a man watching the world burn around him, but I didn't yell. Didn't cry. I quietly took pictures of the screen with my phone. I had learned in tech that documentation mattered. Now it would save me from the lie. My father returned from the bathroom. I pretended to yawn. "I'm turning in early," I told him. He smiled, unaware. "Get some rest, son. Tomorrow's your big day." He was right, but not in the way he thought. I didn't sleep that night. I stared out at the Chicago skyline as my heart began building something colder than revenge: a plan. I wasn't going to scream, confront, or run. I'd let them believe they'd gotten away with it. Right up to the moment I revealed the truth in front of everyone they cared about. I created a secure web page, uploaded the photos, the messages. Then I generated a simple QR code. It looked harmless, like a link to a wedding album. At the hotel's business center, I printed 200 cards, scanned for a special message from the bride and groom. I handed them to Janet, our discreet, professional wedding coordinator, and told her they were a surprise element for the reception. The stage was set. Sometimes truth doesn't scream. It just walks into a room and lets the silence do the rest. The next morning, I dressed like any groom would: sharp tuxedo, composed expression. To anyone watching, I was calm, proud, ready to marry the love of my life. Inside me, though, something colder had taken root. At St. Michael's Church, the setting was divine. Flowers bloomed. Guests filled the pews. Megan arrived, stunning in white, kissed my cheek and whispered, "I'm ready to be your wife." She had no idea, neither did my father, shaking hands and smiling like the proud parent. They were actors, but this wasn't their script anymore. As the ceremony began, Janet began distributing the cards, my silent messengers. I watched from the altar. Uncle Frank scanned his face froze, then Jennifer, then my boss, then the whispers started. Phones glowed, gasps echoed. Faces turned pale. The secret was spreading like wildfire in a room full of dry lies. Megan still smiled at the priest's words. My father's grin began to falter, and then my mother gasped she had scanned the code. Tears streamed down her face. She turned away from my father, her hands trembled. He tried to speak to her, she pulled back sharply. The moment was coming. The priest reached the traditional line. If anyone has reason why these two should not be joined. I stepped forward, took the microphone. I said. A hush fell. I looked at Megan, then my father, then the crowd now glued to their phones, clutching truth like dynamite. I loved you, Megan. I planned a life for us. And Dad, you were my hero. But betrayal doesn't come from enemies, it comes from those we trust the most. Last night, I discovered the two people I trusted most had conspired to lie, deceive, and let me walk down this aisle blind. Megan's face drained of color, my father stood, lips trembling, my mother sobbed openly. I pointed to the guests, they've all seen it. The photos, the texts, the truth, this wedding is over. And so are both of you, truth isn't meant to hurt. It's meant to end the lie you didn't know you were living. I walked out of the church, not as a groom, not as a son, but as a man free of illusion. Behind me, chaos erupted. Megan cried, my father shouted. Guests whispered, stared, filmed, judged, but I was done. My best man caught up with me outside. Jesus, man, are you okay? I just said, for the first time in months, yeah, I'm really okay. The fallout was swift. The video of the scandal went viral. Megan was fired. My father's real estate firm collapsed, clients canceled, partners resigned. His reputation, built over 30 years, crumbled in days. My mother filed for divorce. She told me I could forgive cheating, but letting you walk into that marriage knowing that I can never forgive. I relocated to Austin, Texas, took a new job in tech, started fresh. No one there knew what happened in Chicago. And I liked it that way. My father tried to reach out. One day he showed up at my door. I'm sorry, he said. I ruined everything. I looked at him, older, smaller than I remembered. I forgive you, I told him. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm tired of carrying this weight. I'm still learning to trust again, still healing, but I'm no longer angry, just awake. Sometimes you lose everything to gain what matters most, yourself. We don't expose betrayal to destroy others, we do it to stop destroying ourselves. If you've ever felt betrayed, broken, or lost, know this: you are not alone. Pain doesn't mean the end, it might just be your beginning. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it resonated with you, feel free to share your thoughts below. Your story might help someone else heal too. Speech balloon, leave a comment. Pushpin, subscribe for more stories that go beyond the surface. And remember, truth always finds a way, even if it starts with a single scan.